What's up, people? Welcome to Up Your Game with Rahul. And in this video, I'm going to be tackling a burning question that is on the minds of a lot of people who want to join the game industry. And that is the game industry a good career choice? Are there jobs in the game industry in India? Can you make a good salary in the game industry? Can you make progress in the game industry? What kind of salary, what kind of money can you make in the game industry? And of course, what do I tell my father? What do I tell my uncle? What do I tell my relative who says, why do you want to join the game industry? Why don't you go and join the software industry? So by the end of this video, you will know the answer to this question, and you will also be able to make people understand the answer to the question. Now, the short answer to this question is 200% yes. The game industry is the career of the future. If you are into video games and if you're passionate about game development, making games is the most rewarding and the most satisfying career option for you. But before I start, if you're interested in making games, whether you want to be a designer, whether you want to be an artist or programmer, or whether you want to be an indie, or perhaps you want to go and make AAA games for a living, hit that subscribe button and also the notification icon so that you don't miss any of my videos. Also, I love hearing from you guys, so please do leave a comment for me and tell me about yourself. Tell me what kind of topics you want to hear about from me, and also let me know your stories about whether someone is telling you that you can't make games and what is holding you back from making games. Do let me know in the comments, please. So now, did you know that worldwide the video game industry is worth more than $150 billion? And it is bigger than the music industry and the movie industry combined. So it is the world's largest entertainment industry, and it is growing at leaps and bounds, and it's going to grow like that very fast in the future. In India itself, there are something like 200 to 300 game studios, and more are opening. In fact, very recently, massive amounts of money have been poured into the game industry in India, and that is happening because India is now the world's second largest mobile market after China. It's because of cheap data rates, and everyone has a smartphone, and millions of Indians are playing mobile games and also paying money by playing mobile games. So that's made all the difference. The game industry in India is expanding very rapidly. So guess which was one of the few industries that actually grew during the pandemic? You guessed it, it's the game industry. And that's because you can play games sitting in your house, and you can also make games sitting in your house. The interesting thing is that the game industry in India is growing very rapidly, and it really needs professionals. It needs designers, it needs programmers, it needs testers, it needs artists. There is a huge shortage of trained professionals for the game industry in India. In fact, the game industry is one of the few places that creative individuals such as artists and designers can earn very high salaries. Art directors, creative directors, in fact, can make salaries which are 2 lakh, 3 lakh rupees a month and more in about 8 to 10 years of experience. Now, the question may be, how can I reach those salaries? So I have a video right here which is called Game Career Strategy, and you should totally watch that. The game industry is also one of the few places where creative professionals, developers, designers, artists can make really rapid gains if they are competent. I have myself promoted an artist who was with 2 years of experience, and he was making almost entry-level salary. So he did really well on a game. He made some really great art on a game. That game was successful. So I recommended him from promotion, and he went to double his salary within 2 months, and he was promoted 3 steps ahead. So the game industry is a place where you can really grow rapidly. I also have one of my students who is an artist with 2 years of experience, who's making close to 10 lakh rupees a year. And that's because she's good. She's a really good game artist. She's very competent. She's very professional. And that is why she has made rapid gains in a short time. So the game industry really rewards people who are good, people who are competent, people who work hard, and people who know their stuff. So if you think that's you, you should definitely join the game industry. So I have a great resource that I have made to help you get ahead in the game industry. So I have made a game career guide, which is an e-booklet which is packed with information, tips, knowledge, and lots of hacks which will help you to get a start into the game industry, even if you don't know anything about it or you don't know where to start. Download it. It's in the description of this video, and it'll be a really big boost for you to get started. And it's also something that you can share with parents, you can share with other people to help them know the game industry and the game making process better. So here's something really cool that I bet you didn't know about. Have you heard of a company called Byju's? Byju's is a company that has successfully implemented gamification in education. They're a $1 billion company, and they're in Bangalore, and they're hiring like crazy. And I know a lot of people from the game industry who've actually gone and joined Byju's. And you must have heard of Zomato, you must have heard of Make My Trip. All of these are companies that have implemented gamification in their products and processes. And that's awesome for us in the game industry because it means that they use the same processes. And if you become part of the game industry, you also get access to this huge market, which is $10 billion right now. The gamification market is going to be $13 billion in the next few years, and everybody wants in on it. So once you join the game industry, you'll also be part of the wider gamification industry. Now I want to talk about the comparison between the software industry and the game industry. So I have a video for you. One of my students is a graduate of BITS Pilani who went and joined Infosys. And in about 2 years, he got fed up, and then he quit and he joined the video game industry. And now, after some years, he is a successful indie solo developer, and he has tens of millions of downloads of his mobile game. I actually had an interview with him, and you can find that link right here. So in fact, do follow me on Instagram. I keep having lives with professionals from the game industry, such as developers, artists, designers, producers, etc. So a link to my Instagram is in the description. So once you follow me, you'll be able to find out all the latest updates. And I also post a lot of great content on game development there. So here's another bonus for you. Go to glassdoor.com and type game developer salaries, and then type software developer salaries. The last time I did that, you will find that game developers make 18% more than software developers. So the next time, your dad or your uncle or your relative is talking about the software industry, you can just go and do that and send them the Glassdoor link, and then they will understand that the game industry is a much more lucrative industry than the software industry at this point. So a very interesting thing about the game development scene in India is that for the longest time, India has been a country of software developers. Everyone's parents keep pushing their kids into B.Tech, into doing software development, with the result that very few people have actually chosen to go into creative fields such as art and design. And this has created a massive shortage of designers. In fact, if you go to Naukri.com and if you enter game designer roles, and if you enter game developer roles, and if you enter game artist roles, you will see that there is a huge demand. There is absolutely huge demand for game designers. Now, about 5 to 10 years ago, people slowly started getting into game design. But even at this point, a game designer is a really crucial part of the game development process, and there is a big shortage of game designers, which means that people who are in creative roles such as creative directors are in very, very high demand, and they have very, very high salaries. So this is a great time to get into game design as well. Another profession, another discipline in the game industry that is in great demand is data science. So these days, mobile games are all about data. Mobile games employ analytics, and they gather information about what players are doing, what they like, what they don't like. And the data analytics people are the ones who actually look at all this data and they make changes to the games based on this data. So that is a really, really important field right now. And people who are product managers who understand data and analytics well are really earning well, and they are in great demand. So that is another place where there is massive demand in the game industry, especially the mobile game industry. Even in India, there are a number of companies which are really big, such as Electronic Arts, Rockstar, Ubisoft, and there are a lot of Indian game companies as well that are doing really well. And you can actually join these companies and you can be offered a performance link bonus, which is probably you can get 15-20% of your salary. If the company does well, you can get company stocks and shares. So it's all going on. All these benefits which used to be offered in other industry like the software industry, etc., are also offered in the game industry. The awesome thing about the game industry is that many companies, they actually let their good people, let their senior people, senior designers, senior developers go for game conferences. So I've actually attended game conferences in different parts of the world. I went for a game conference in London last year, which my company sponsored, and that was awesome. You get to travel, you get to meet people, you get to attend these fantastic events. So that's a great perk of being in the game industry as well. So I hope this helped you to understand why games is the career of the future. If it did, hit like and also subscribe to my channel so you don't miss any of the videos that I put out there, and also hit the notification button so you get notified every single time. Also, do leave me a comment and let me know what kind of content you want me to create, what you want to hear from me. I love hearing about you. Tell me your stories. So do follow me on Instagram. Once again, the link to my Instagram is there in the description, and I hope to see you there for my next live.